points for England, though.
Okay, here we have a prediction. Tony Smith raises an eyebrow. Let's get over to our commentary team for this, the second of our games in this international doubleheader on Sky Sports this bank holiday weekend. Standing by are John Wilkin, Phil Clark and Stuart Pike.
Thank you, Brian. A brave new world for Shaun Wane and for England. 11 debutants and hopefully a significant day for International Rugby League as well. Liam Moore is the referee. A competitive France can only be a good thing for the sport in the Northern Hemisphere. And let's see how good they can be today and how close to England they can get. It's been a long, long time since they've beaten England. They have a young squad as well. And straight away, the first charge from Florian Vahine. Laurent Fresneau talked in yesterday. The French coach reckons they're going to give it a real dig here. And England would have been, or would be, foolish to underestimate this young French team.
You're right, there are only 7 survivors from the last 17 who played against Samoa in their final World Cup game of last year, but they're not looking at the last World Cup, they're looking at the next. And Laurent Fresneau here has put some new men out there, determined to start well. They know that the last 2 occasions they've played Wigan, they've been blown away in the opening 20 minutes. That can't happen today.
Well, they're going to give it a go, that's for sure. Here is Julien. What a veteran he has been of French Rugby League over recent years. Kick forward from César Rouget, and in the right place at the right time, as always he is, Jack Welsby. Really important, this, for England. Memories, of course, going back to that fateful day on the 12th of November and one of the possibly worst defeats in England's recent history.
Yeah, look, the building for 2025, and what we see here this afternoon is a lot of young men who have got their crosshairs firmly on that World Cup in 2025. Might not necessarily be in Shaun Wane's thoughts if he had his strongest side to pick from, but you look through it and it's exciting to give people the opportunity. Just to echo what's been said before, again, Matty Nicholson has produced some exceptional performances. When we talk about young players, well, Jack Welsby's still a very young player, so this youthful England side's exciting for us to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the players 24 and under. And there is the little kick forward from Harry Smith, and in the end it comes down, picked up by Rouget, he's pushed back behind his own try line, and that was terrific from England. The chase was good, the aggression was good, and they get their reward.
Yeah, we spoke about Harry Smith and what his job was in the changing rooms before the game. He said to kick the ball well, get it to a good part of the field and defend off the back of it. That's exactly what Harry Smith's been doing for Wigan all year. The accuracy of the kick gave his chase the opportunity to be excellent, which it was.
And it was Jack Welsby who chose to compete, didn't he? He got in there, helped to get the ball, make it a difficult catch, and they got a great opportunity in the very first few minutes of this match to put some points on the board.
That's Ed Moore with the dropout. Harry Smith has more attacking kicks in Super League than anyone else. What a hit there! That was on Ethan Havard. I told you they meant business. Florian Vahine, 6'4", 18 stone. Bang!
That's just intent, and it's a signal maybe of how France are going to approach this game with some aggression. Really try and shut England down, knock them off the rhythm. That might be the way for this young French team to play today.
They are certainly having a go, as Laurent Fresneau promised. Williams now. Inside it goes for Morgan Smithies, one of the debutants. 6 Wiganers, 6 from Warrington in this side. Smithies and Williams with a little kick towards the corner, and a chance for a try from Ash Hanley, and that is the perfect start. Lovely little kick over the top from the captain, and Ash Hanley made it look so easy, and England hit the front 4-0 inside 4 minutes.
Well, it was the George Williams kick the last time that England played against France that put the first try on the board, and it's the George Williams kick again today. Beautiful short kick. It's very hard not to kick the ball too hard, and he manages to pace the distance on it, sees the space, the wingers closed in there. Arthur Romano inside field, can't turn around, and Ash Hanley pleased there with his first touch of the match.
Yeah, and it's smart from Smith and Williams. For people at home, when they just threaten to move the ball left to right there, it gives Romano a decision to make. Does he drop off the end of the defensive line and anticipate a kick coming to him? Or does he come up and defend as he normally would? Well, he came up, and those are the cues that George Williams is looking for. As soon as he sees that indecision from Romano on the end of the line, he knows he's kicking that, and Ash Handley was there to take advantage. Really smart. Two great kicks at the start of this game for England. One from Harry Smith, the man who's going to kick the conversion here. One from George Williams. Great start, England.
But it was just superbly executed. You could see he had a little, took him 1 second, less than a second to look towards the corner to spot the opportunity.
Interesting for the French as we watch Harry Smith line up this kick. Standing his kick here, just about 9 metres in from touch. Does he nail it?
That's a terrific kick. He has one of the best goal-kicking percentages in Super League. And as soon as the ball left the boot, it was 6-0. But look at this from Williams.
Yeah, it's the combination of Smith and Williams, the threat of moving the ball. The French edge has to come up, and that leaves Ash Handley in acres of space. Williams is a master at executing plays and toying with defenders on the end of the defensive line.
It's worth pointing out, the number 2 for France, Arthur Romano, he's played 8 games for Catalan this season. All 8 he's played as a centre. There is a big difference defending on the wing. You're asking somebody to do a different job at the highest level under intense pressure in the opening minutes.
And with a player like George Williams, who just can spot the small nuanced differences in body language from somebody who plays that position every week, Phil. So it's a difficult job for him today.
The perfect start as well for the coach. Shaun Wane, I know, has been very, very nervy and edgy this week. He came within an ace of quitting, basically. He described that semi-final defeat as the worst day of his career. And he said he was persuaded by text messages from players to hang on in there.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously analysis and scrutiny that comes off the back of any loss or any defeat. It was just, Seb Bashara mentioned it in studio. It's a fantastic kick again. Look, a highlight for England here. We'll forget about last year's World Cup. Let's talk about this man, George Williams, taking on the captaincy here. Spoke about how proud he is. Well, some fantastic contributions. Not just this kick. 2 plays before that, he decided to just drop out of shape and push in support. And that's when George Williams is at his best, when he carries the ball. It's a really accurate kick and a fantastic chase from Nicholson.
Well, nothing that Zenon could do about it. It was that good from Williams. And the kicking game so far has been perfect. 2 goal line dropouts from the French inside 6 minutes.
It's the weather for it as well. It's raining, the surface is slightly wet. You know, it's just a smart play to kick early, kick behind teams, and that's what England have executed really well here.
Nicholson, youngest man in the England squad, just 19 years of age. Matthew Nicholson, his teammate Walker plays it. Inside it goes for Holroyd, brought down inside the 20. It is a bit greasy, a bit slippy. We had quite a lot of rain during the Women's International. Well picked up there by Wardle, tries to cut inside. Marcon it is with the tackle. Walker, quick play the ball. Inside it goes for Morgan Smithies. Close to the line, last tackle. Williams again pulling the strings. Welsby looked for a way through. Fabulous tackle by Laguerre to deny Welsby. And again, aggressive in defence from the French. And for me, it was key they kept England out there.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways to defend. You can be passive and back off and see what happens, or you can really assert yourself on the attacking team. And I think for France and Laguerre there, it's important that they impose themselves upon players like Jack Welsby, like George Williams. Take the time away from them. If they want to sit back and watch them run and move, it's going to be a long afternoon for the French team.
All roads, of course, lead to France. The next World Cup in 2025, and Laurent Fresneau knows that they have to be competitive. Their World Cup campaign last autumn lasted less than 2 weeks and came to a very ignominious end on this ground when they were thrashed by Samoa, conceding 60 points. Talking about good kicks, that was unlucky. That was a good kick, and it was.
Attempted 40-20, I think they've got it, Stuart.
Could be. It was Rouget. What a kick that was. I'll tell you what, the kicking game from both sides so far has been exceptional. Rouget for the French, Williams for England.
It's an immaculate kick for a number of reasons. He was under all sorts of pressure from Kai Pearce-Paul. It just touched the sideline. And now here, France, just what an opportunity for them aiming this into this game.
Well, England forced a goal line dropout. They got the try. Here is Vahin right in front of the post. 40-20. Brilliant from César Rouget. Marianne. Here is Artem Morg. Morg so dangerous with ball in hand, close to the line. Good tackle coming in. But Walker was in there as well. And Marianne on the goal line. Morg. Oh, it's a disappointing pass. Lange couldn't pick it up. Marcon put the kick through towards the line, and that's a disappointing end to a promising position for France. 6-0 it stays. England in front, coming up for 10 minutes gone in this mid-season international.
I think they'll take a positive out of the fact the last time they played England, it took them almost 30 minutes to get close to England's try line. Here they've done it inside the opening 10 minutes. They'll probably have to be a little sharper if they want to get over and score some points.
The fluency with the ball is a challenge when teams are put together for a week and you say, right, prepare for a test match. Well, Théophage isn't there. He'd be the man who'd orchestrate everything for France in terms of how they attack. Very similar for England as well. Similar challenge. It's how well the sides gel in such short space of time.
Théophage hasn't played for France for 5 years. Incredible, 5 years, and he's such an important part of the side, but he's been more conspicuous by his absence. Holroyd brought down on halfway. Walker again, and Smithies involved, but nowhere for Harry Smith to go.
It's another example of France being aggressive, taking time away. It's Harry Smith this time. As soon as he catches the ball, he's swamped by French defenders.
Williams under pressure there from Rouget. Referee said it was okay. A bit of afters in backfield between George Williams and César Rouget. France have it, trailing 6-0. The early try from Ash Hanley.
Push forward.
Laguerre plays it to Marianne, and here is one of the French debutants, Jackie Chan. His dad Alex played for the club, still very much involved. His brother Joe is playing for Melbourne, isn't he, in the NRL? Chan very much in the philosophy of Laurent Fresinier in this side. That's a good pass. Here's Laguerre now. Cuts inside. He did have support outside him from Romano. Last tackle. Back again it goes to Rouget. And that is a monster. Couldn't be taken by Wellesby. Still the last one. Ball goes to ground. England have it back through Smith, but that was a monster kick from Rouget.
It's huge. It really stuck his foot through it. Got some spiral on the ball. It just drifted and dropped. Caused all sorts of problems for England. More encouraging signs there for Wales. It's not just that's the chase from Lange as well. You know, a great kick and a great chase, and it's been the story of this game so far, is the quality of kicking and the quality of the chases that we've seen.
Wardle up to halfway. 6-0 England lead. And there's Walker kicking early in the tackle count. A bit frustrated now, putting his hands up to apologise. Not the sort of kick that he wanted. France will get the ball back midway inside their own half. 6-0 England lead.
Yeah, his second practice swing looked better than the first one, didn't it? He would have wanted that another 15 yards down the field. We've seen this man. We want to be excited about a player. Look, this man, Walker, has been exceptional for Warrington. And we've talked a lot in Super League about Paul Vaughan and how much go forward and momentum Warrington have got. Well, Danny Walker's been a player who's just taken advantage of that in every single instance. So he deserves his place here.
Yeah, ever present, of course, got his chance because of an injury to Darrell Clarke, but has kept his place. Darrell Powell thinks very highly of Walker. Former witness, now making his debut. Here is the big man Vahin, plays for Pia in the Elite One Championship in France.
It's good, isn't it? There's some ball movement from the French team. I think there would be a mistake to just try and run straight at the middle of the England defenders. They'll be too strong and displacing defenders, moving them around, getting them to make decisions as they way, and then the kick here from César Rouget again.
Get a decent kick. It just kind of splits the winger and the fullback. Picked up by the try scorer Ash Hanley, but again really good defence from the French. French have based themselves and trained at St Helens throughout the week, where, of course, Laurent Fresneau is the assistant to Paul Wellens. Wellsby. Nowhere for Matthew Ashton to go, and Rouget is not scared to make a tackle, is he?
He's doing really well for a 20-year-old number 7, playing in a side that are underdogs here. Very little experience at Super League level. He maybe hit the wall here now with a bit of fatigue sitting in at 14 minutes, but he's got to keep going.
Wellsby. That's a good offload from King. Back to the fullback. On the charge was Harry Smith, but there was nowhere for him to go. And 6-0 it remains, 15 minutes gone, and just 1 or 2 errors creeping in.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things for Shaun Wane to have a look at. One is, I think, how passive England have been defensively. They've not really imposed themselves. It's a nice support line from Harry Smith, and you encourage Jack Wellsby to stick with that, keep playing. But England just a little bit passive defensively. They need to really impose themselves on this French team.
Mathieu Kurzac, of course, Sean Long, who's Fresnau's assistant, knows all about at Featherstone. Made a real impression, Koza, this year for the leaders of the championship. But France making a really good account of themselves in this opening 15 or 16 minutes. Here is Morgue. That's a good cut-out pass. No offload there from Julian, and that was disappointing. Just for a moment, it looked like something was opening up on the left wing, but Julian couldn't hold on properly. Mistake from the French. England get it back on their own 20, leading 6-0.
Yeah, and for England on the right edge, just very aggressive from George Williams, Toby King aggressive, Ash Handley, all of them aggressive. Julian comes up with a mistake, but France will spot an opportunity there. If the timing's just not quite right and the connection and the communication's just not quite right from Williams and King, you know, players like Artur Morgue will be looking for that to spot that and take advantage of it.
Get this first one right as well. Heads down, don't go early. Just very tight. Head down. Shot clock off.
Shaun Wane delighted in a way, in a strange way, but delighted that there was so many withdrawals, because it gives him a chance to play all the young players and to give out so many debuts. And as Phil mentioned earlier, a lot of these players, without a shadow of a doubt, will be involved come 2025 in that World Cup. So to get them on the international road here in April 2023 will give Shaun Wane a few clues as to where he's going over the next couple of years.
One. Move!
16 minutes on the clock. Williams again involved in everything.
2.
Holroyd.
Back here. Hold!
What a big year, or 18-month Tom Holroyd has had as well. Here is Morgan Smithies.
3.
Smithies and his teammate Havard have been tackle monsters this year. Nicholson looking for a way through. The Warrington teenager. 10 yards out from that French try line. Walker and Wellsby. And here is Williams, and there is the kick towards the corner. The chase is on, just a bit too far. Wow. Well, I hope they're okay. A little bit of concern in the corner there. The race was on. And hopefully they're okay, but there is a bit of concern there. Ashton went through. I think King may have been the one who went through as well.
It's Ashton and Wardle, both of them chasing on the edge.
It's a 20, mate. Yeah.
Look, the intent from England and the effort in terms of their kick chase has been without question. Shaun Wane massively concerned with the outcome of this, but so pleased with the commitment of his side to chase with such intent and such aggression. They've just smashed straight through that advertising border.
And Marcon gets up. Jake Wardle. It is Jake Wardle who's down.
It's a 20, mate.
I think he's just receiving some treatment there just to make sure that he's okay. But they were going at such pace. And just broke through, didn't they? Broke through the advertising hoarding.
It's that greasy surface. It's the reason George Williams kicked early and kicked behind, like we said. It's a great tactic in this weather. George Williams a master at it. Slightly overcooked that one, but gave his chase just a sniff of an opportunity. Wardle and Ashton really went hard after it.
Let's hope he's going to be okay, and we're thankful that we've got those collapsible perimeter boards. Did what it was intended to do, didn't it?
There's an early kick again.
Player moving at speed. Well, of course, if defenders move up fast, it's obvious, isn't it, to kick in behind them. He's done it really well.
In the middle, boys.
The medical staff just making sure he's okay to play on.
Some scrapes and bruises.
No stress.
Rugby league players are made of granite.
No stress.
Of that, there's no doubt. Bit of treatment.
He's on debut. He's not going off.
That didn't look good, did it, to be fair? He just made sure he's all right. There's a bit of claret, as Steve-O would say, a bit of blood, a few scrapes and scratches. But Jake Wardle back in business.
This isn't a surprise, is it? The French needed some firepower in the middle. Justin Sangaré comes on here now to help them go forward. It's been impressive in his opening career at the Leeds Rhinos. What will they do for France, his national team today?
He's a huge man. He's ginormous. I was in the tunnel, stood next to him, and just could never picture myself playing this game. He's massive.
Goudemont, the captain, brought down shy of halfway. Inside it goes for Sangaré. Marianne offloads. Laguerre on halfway, nowhere to go. Williams involved in the tackle along with Toby King. 6-0 it remains. Coming up for 20 minutes gone. What a proud moment for Mikael Goudemont, taking over from the unavailable Benjamin Garcia as the French captain today. Rouget with another good kick. Welsby having to come across to the touchline. Takes it well, Jack Welsby, but again, the aggression, the chase, very impressive from France.
Yeah, I think Laurent Fresinu and Sean Long will be delighted with lots of the things that France have done here. Kicked well, chased well, really put some pressure on England with the defence, and there'll be much to be delighted about. I spoke to Lauren in the tunnel before the game, and he was just unsure what he was going to see today, what his side were going to produce. Well, I think he'll be delighted with what they've produced. Although they're 6-0 down, I think some real green shoots of what this future French team could look like.
On a win.
Well, that's quite a brains trust, isn't it, there? Laurent Fresinu, Sean Long and Remy Castries, of course, former French star. Sean Long enjoying his days as a head coach at Featherstone. Nicholson just couldn't quite offload to Welsby. But again, Walker trying to move things along quickly. Smithies involved and Pierce-Paul. Wardle now. Wardle with the dummy. Great play for Wardle. Brilliant play from Wardle. And the try on debut for Harry Smith. And England go further in front. But that was classy. And that was no doubt. A couple of minutes ago, Wardle smashed through an advertising hoarding into the concrete terracing. He's back on, and he created the second try, and England lead 10-0.
Yeah, it came through an amazing movement from Morgan Smithies with the ball. He plays such an important role, loose forwards do, in the ball movement. And England just wonder, that pass from Morgan Smithies was lethally accurate. Kai Pierce-Paul just tips it on, and then Harry Smith does an exceptional job of supporting up the middle. What came from that Morgan Smithies pass, this under pressure in the wet as a loose forward who's tired, is on the money, absolutely on the money. It creates the space for Wardle, who looks fresh. He doesn't look too damaged by his collision with the advertising board, and it's a great try there for him.
So Harry Smith right in front of the sticks, should be 12-0. That'll be disappointing for France, because you kind of felt that they got a foothold in this game.
Yeah, just stay accurate. We know the ones that we need
That
to
was a
pick.
lovely play with ball in hand from England. "20 minutes on the clock. 6-0 is about to become 12-0. And it's been a debut, a dream debut so far for Harry Smith. And England lead 12-0.
I think the role played by Kai Pierce-Paul was important here, John. You know, you talked about Smithies' pass. Here he goes almost through the side perimeter boards at 1 minute.
Wow.
And then he's given the pass. But the early catch and pass from Kai Pierce-Paul, you know what? I felt maybe in the World Cup we didn't see enough from Herbie Farmouth, because he wasn't given early ball. It was selfless play from Pierce-Paul that allowed Wardle to work his magic and get the pass back on the inside.
And the timing of it was really subtle, wasn't it? You could easily just rush and shovel that on. He just fixed the defender in front of him, got a Romano interested as well. Really smart plays. A smart footballer is Kai Pearce-Paul.
Move now! Hold, Ben, hold. Go on.
22 minutes on the clock. In mid-season, nearly mid-season, you could say, international.
Goal 2.
Significant this week with the amount of debutants that have come in. They really are all taking their opportunities. Walker with another great run, this time from dummy half. Here's Williams again. The pressure on. The great kick. It's going to have to be put dead, and it is. It was well read in the end by Artur Romano, but Williams here, he has got that ball on a piece of string. His kicking has been that good.
Yeah, when it's greasy, the ball skips and slides and get backspin, and it holds you can kick the ball harder, and that gets the backspin, and George Williams is just that perfect.
Would you go for a short restart here? I mean, otherwise it looks like a try if you just kick it long.
Why not?
10 seconds. Shot clock off.
Either that or the sideline. He's gone for the short, but he's almost kicked it straight to him with an easy catch.
Yeah, not a good kick from Artem Morg. A third goal line dropout from the French inside the first 22 minutes. Pearce-Paul picks it up quite easily. 12-0 England in front. James Harrison on for his debut. What a moment for him. And his dad, the former Great Britain star, Carl Welsby. Inside it goes for Kai Pearce-Paul. Desperate French defending close to their own line. Walker with the short pass. Smithies inside. And back is a strolling. Absolute strolling for Ethan Havard. He had a try on debut. The French defence just stood and watched and said, here you go. So Ethan Havard did. And England have their third try.
Yeah, real subtle play. We spoke about Morgan Smithies and his touch and control and how he manipulated the defence in that other play. Well, this is Morgan Smithies all over again. Just attracts defenders. He's a threat because he carries the ball as well. France are short on this left side, but Smithies with a nice play gets Julian interested and just feeds Havard into some space.
Well, Ethan Havard hasn't had to do too much to score that try, but it's worth pointing out at this point in the match, 23 minutes, he's made more tackles than any England player and run with the ball more times than any other player on the England side. He's had a tremendous opening start to his international career.
It's a great combination between two big men. It's things that you love to see. The French team look dejected here. They've had a real crack. We're really disappointed to concede those two quick tries, and they'll be doing a bit of soul searching. But for Harry Smith, two of his Wigan teammates have just created a try, and it's things that I love to see. Big men passing to other big men through the middle of the field, sometimes neglected as a point at which you attack. Well, England have executed well there.
Well, Smithies and Havard have played a huge role, haven't they, in Wigan's success so far this season, as Harry Smith makes it 3 out of 3, and with 15 minutes to go to half-time, England now lead France by 18 points to 0.
Yes. Yeah, Smithies short ball to Havard, it's great. And loose forwards have an important job, Phil, don't they, in a modern game like that?
I mean, I think more so it's coming back into fashion to be able to ball play. For about 20 years, many forwards were told not to pass the ball. It was to the detriment of the sport over here, but he's been encouraged now to do it. Just going back to Ethan Havard, I was lucky to play with his father, Kieran Havard, who played professionally at Salford earlier in his career when we were youngsters in the Wigan area. I'm sure he'll be very proud of his son today.
Yeah. Morgan Smithies played a big role. A few eyebrows raised when he was given a number 13 jersey. They're big boots to fill, but playing it loose forward, and he has taken to it this season.
Well, he gets all the effort areas right, so he tries hard. You get consistent levels of effort. My question would be, as an international player, did he have the quality? Well, in the opening 25 minutes here, he showed me when he's given the licence to do that, he's got the quality about him as well.
The answer's yes, John.
Yeah, the first poor kick there from England. You know, their kicking game's been flawless, absolutely flawless until this point. Harry Smith just scuffed that one.
Picked up by Zenon.
Got to be quick, boys.
Here is Marcon.
There's a danger when you're behind to just play individually, as Hugo Thiessen comes on here now as a replacement hooker for them, but they need to still play as a team. It's not one-man carries that are going to help France now for the rest of the game.
Here's the captain.
Well, he's stood up, hasn't he?
Good.
He's been great.
He's been superb, hasn't he? Part of the backbone of the Catalan Dragons, Mikel Gudemar. Here is Sangare. Already the last one, midway inside the England half. They've had a couple of opportunities, the French haven't been able to convert them into points. Rouget's high kick, Welsby can't take it, the first attempt, he can at the second. But again, Rouget with a tough testing kick. Welsby did well under pressure.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Rouget's performance, for a number of reasons, has been good. His kicking's been accurate. His distribution of the ball's been crisp. The ball just slips out. Matty Ashton fighting to play the ball. When it's wet, it's so difficult to keep hold of it. It seems like such a simple error, but the moisture on that ball makes it difficult. There's a knee in there from Gudemond. Ashton's certainly, I think, required to keep hold of that in his efforts to get up and play the ball. That's a mistake here from England.
Can France?
Well, the fullback's fast. Tanguy Zenon can do stuff. I mean, he's very, very new to rugby league at this level. He's played 80 minutes against Warrington this year, and he had the last 7 minutes against Salford last week. Other than that, he's not even played in Super League. But what's he got here? He can do things with the ball.
Artem Morg, here is Laguerre. Good tackle from Toby King. You feel that the French have to get some points on the board here to stay in this game. Kang plays the ball quickly. Sangare. Oh, he's been a revelation, hasn't he, at Leeds this year? He was standout for Toulouse in a losing season. Here is Morg again. Marion, not far short of that try line. Couple of tackles left in the set for the French. Morg with a little kick through, and Welsby read it really well. Jack Welsby. Marcon brings him down behind the try line, so England will have to drop out for the first time, but that was excellent fullback play.
Well, they're aware, aren't they, of just how dangerous it is to defend kicks so close to your line. Welsby does really well, but can't get it on the outside of Paul Marcon. And after, is it 29 minutes now, the French get a goal line dropout.
I think Shaun Wane will get a lot from seeing how well his team deal with a bit of adversity. I think they were always favourites maybe in this game to go and get a result, but Shaun Wane's always analysing effort and the detail of how his teams defend. So he'll learn as much from this as the silky stuff that we see them scoring points. This is maybe what he might scrutinise more than anything.
Yeah, greasy surface, greasy ball. Will prove difficult, certainly, for the moment, even though the rain has stopped. 10 minutes to half-time. Grandel Warhorse, Benjamin Julian, his 20th cap for his country. Playing in the championship now. But still as determined as ever. Morg. Samisoni Langui. Of course, qualifying for France through residence from his time at the Catalan Dragons, playing in the World Cup just a few short months ago. Morg with the kick through, and again a disappointing end to what you have to say is a disappointing set from France. England 18-0 to the good with less than 10 minutes to half-time.
Yes, a great offload we just see from Toby King. But yeah, it's a credit to England that France are resorting to kicking the ball. We've seen England do that a number of times through George Williams, really effective. But France in that set didn't really look like they challenged England in any area. They didn't really disrupt England's defensive line. So it came to Artem Morg to try and put a kick in.
Attempted 40-20 again, Brian.
Well, that looks like a successful 40-20. That's brilliant. And that's Danny Walker. And this time he's got it right. That's superb from Danny Walker.
It's his practice swing. After his first one that didn't go so well, it was like he's a golfer at the tee shot. He's like, I just needed a little bit more in, two out, a bit of left to right on it. Well, he's nailed it that time. Fantastic. Danny Walker, I mean, we just saw off the back of an offload, King's offload. Danny Walker's electric out of dummy half. You add kicking into that, and it's incredibly dangerous.
Tyler Dupree on for his debut. What a season he's had for the Salford Red Devils. Here come England again. Charge on from James Harrison. Had some disappointments in their careers, both Harrison and Dupree, and here they are turning out for England. Welsby with the offload. Wardle goes to the corner, and that is a classic try once more. Lovely hands from Jack Welsby. How many times have we seen him do that to St Helens? And Wardle, who made a try just 10 minutes ago, scores a try for England, who stretch their lead to 22 points to 0.
Then it came from the 40-20 from Danny Walker, really smart. Again, spotting the French wingers up on the end of the line, executed incredibly well. And then that's all about squareness from Harry Smith, just creating space for Welsby and Wardle on the edge of it. Clinical piece of play there, tactically smart kick, getting the ball back, and then executing your plays. Shaun Wane will be delighted with the skills on show.
It's a great try, isn't it? Basketball pass from Welsby to Wardle, two hands, pushes it out there. And he does well to score in the corner. You know, I went to watch the World Cup semi-final between Australia and New Zealand, and my conclusion was that why those two sides are so good at the moment, the defensive decisions by the centre and winger are probably better than any other country. I know they were the semi-final, not the final. I think the challenge for England for the next time they get to World Cup, and maybe even France, is to get better defensive decisions from centres and wingers, and we've got to be able to stop tries like that.
Yeah, it's the most important defensive position on the field, the centre, your second defender in from the sideline. You inevitably have massive decisions to make, whether you're aggressive, whether you're passive, you know, whether you take yourself out of the line to shut something down. And the best centres in the world get that right all of the time. They rarely make mistakes. Maybe it's Super League and the poorer games that we watch, that's the area where we see mistakes happening. Certainly England smart enough to take advantage of it. Harry Smith square enough to take advantage of it. Jack Welsby skillful enough to take advantage of France getting it wrong.
And the Super League starlets are certainly taking advantage of their international debuts, and Harry Smith doesn't miss too many. What a game he's having, as many of these England players are as well. Superb from Smith, superb from England, and it's 24-0, and it really has been as simple as that.
Yeah, and off the back of Danny Walker's kick, like we said, great squareness, great finish from Wardle. Champagne from England, 7 minutes to go to half-time, and Shaun Wane, in particular with that try, will be delighted with how clinical it was, leading to Wardle plonking that ball down.
Another big moment for England as Jez Litton of Hull KR comes on for his debut just before half-time, and there he is. And there is Ben Curry also on from the bench.
You mentioned something there about Tyler Dupree, difficult route to the top. James Harrison, difficult route to the top. Jez Litton, Tony Smith's alluded to it. How hard this kid's had to work to get this opportunity in his life today. There's more than one way to the top. There's more than one period of time where you can get there. I think sometimes I find them the most interesting stories.
Welsby, brilliant pass from Ash Hanley. They're queuing up, Boonery, the captain, George Williams. Sensational England try. That was out of the top drawer. Superb from England. Brilliant hands, brilliant try. And it's 28-0.
Try of the game so far, wasn't it? We get to 35 minutes. That was outstanding. I think anybody watching that, either here at the ground or home on TV, would have to appreciate the passing skills and the support play and timing. That ball there from Welsby is brilliant. And then the in and away, the subtlety of the wingman there to displace the defender, releases it ball back inside to George Williams. He's almost the king of the castle at the moment, Williams, here now in his own ground at Warrington. Starts it, involved early on, and then finishes it.
Yeah, that ball from Welsby is just laser accurate. It's fast, it's accurate, it's just on the money, and it allows Ash Handley then to have time to just use his footwork to beat the French defender. Harrison here, guy who's had an awkward route to the top, supported by Dupree, and then Welsby, who's a star. He's a star in Super League. Handley's got the speed to get away, and like we said, Smith supported a break earlier to score, and Williams, the captain today, supporting a break to score.
I've got to say, it's a young England side, and it's a young, inexperienced French side, but England have been mighty impressive. Smith, who's been perfect so far with the boot. And he is again, and England lead by 30 points to 0 with some 4 minutes to go to half-time.
There's been a level of maturity to how England have played. They've kicked well, and they've won territory and field position off the back of a kicking game. And then with the very few opportunities they've had, they've created things. And they've created things with nice, crisp, accurate, basic skill. And that results in the Williams try there. Fantastic.
So 30 points to 0, and Laurent Fresneau, the coach of France, joins us. It's been a tough half for you, Laurent, to say the least.
Yes, it's been tough. Obviously, I just heard what John said about the England last play, and obviously they killed us. The last play was too good for us. Couldn't read, you know, Danny Walker kicking, Harry Smith and George Williams, and their kicking game being accurate. And at the back of that, we've been under pressure. So yeah, it's been tough, but again, it's a learning curve for our kids.
You started really well. I think it was 6-0 up until the 20th minute, but that second try really sort of turned it, didn't it?
Yeah, it's about building pressure, and that's what England has done on us. They built pressure in the first 20-25 minutes, and they got the reward at the back of that. But yeah, we'll keep on working hard and keep on trying. That's what we will do for the next 42 minutes.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, he's right. It is all about building towards that World Cup in 2025, and there's probably 7 or 8, maybe even 9 or 10 players who are unavailable for France. But they have a chance on the stroke of half-time. No, they don't. If they make a mistake right on the try line, well, that was unfortunate.
Well, it's unsurprising that France's attack isn't that good when they're close to the line. The main attacker, Arthur Morgue, has played fullback for Catalan Dragons now this season. You're asking again a player to play in a different position, do a completely different thing against an opponent that's stronger than they are as well. So
Arms over tight, lads.
Virtually impossible for them to have some cohesion in attack.
Yeah, and it was a great shot from Jack Welsby, wasn't it? Jack Welsby just ripped his shoulder straight through the ball. When the weather's like this and you're defending your line, stick your shoulder through somebody's ribs and try and get some of the ball, because the ball pops out. That's just great technique from Jack Welsby. But you know, Fresneau said it. It's an inability to build pressure. Look, there's only 2 minutes left. There's only so much pressure you can build in 2 minutes. But that's been a symptom of the France performance.
It was young Bastien Chimone who couldn't hang on to the ball, but yeah, Welsby has been pretty much perfect, hasn't he, in this half. Oh, Harrison with the offload. Here now is Jez Litton. Can England get another one? The 2 French players down in backfield, by the way. So at the moment, defensively, they only have 11 players. Sangaré is trying to get himself back groggily, and in the end it's taken by Zenon, but there was nowhere for him to go. He possibly could have left the ball.
It's a stunning kick, though. Harry Smith is definitely going out on the next bounce. It's a poor decision, but the kick is that accurate. It makes people make questionable decisions. We've seen a few French defenders just get it wrong on the end of the line or defending kicks, and it's been off the accuracy of this man's kicks, George Williams, and also Harry Smith. They've been exquisite.
Well, you're right. The pressure of the situation, he was caught in 3 minds of what to do, and he made the wrong choice, Tanguy Zenon. So England do have an opportunity now with a minute to go.
It does look bizarre. It looks bizarre when you watch it again, doesn't it? It's going out, but it's easy to say, look, when you're in the heat of a game, look, a minute left, you know, it's difficult. Your lungs are burning, you're tired, you've got sweat in your eyes. It's easy to make clarity decisions.
They just made massive defensive positional changes here now with Louis Jouffret coming on. You're not sure who's going where. Tanguy Zenon's going on to the left wing.
Arthur Romano's gone over to
right
the right
centre.
Yeah, they've got 60 seconds to survive. James Harrison rejected several times as a youngster. Now a real big hit and a big player at Warrington. George Williams, what a pass from Williams. Hamley goes in for his second try. George Williams is the captain of his country today. He is having an absolute stormer. England get another try right on the stroke of half-time. It's a second for Leeds winger Ash Hanley. I'll tell you what, with ball in hand, they've been very, very good.
Yeah, and again, built off the back of accuracy, of detail, of a great kicking game, forcing France to come up with decisions that are not quite right. They get it wrong here, but the pleasing thing is when England get the ball, the combination of Smith and Williams has looked slick, and there's nobody better filling that position than George Williams at the minute.
He's the king of England. That's a brilliant pass, isn't it? It makes it look so easy, just over the fingertips. And the finish from Hanley. Almost a perfect 40 minutes.
He even looks pleased.
Well, he's allowed to smile. Are we going to get a smile?
No.
You know, knowing him as I do and you do, he'll be tearing him to bits over the errors they made during half-time. There might be a bit of fake praise as well.
You're constantly working at things. A big difference between the two teams is fluency for Lauren Fresinu. His young side have looked disjointed at times, and England have just had more clinical moments in this game. For Shaun Wane, I think he'll be pleased with how they've attacked. I think he will have some questions about their intensity with the defence.
But they've been ruthless.
Yeah, they've scored and when they've had opportunities, and that's been built off the back of two men. Harry Smith, who's kicking this conversion, and George Williams.
Is it going to be 6 out of 6 with the boot for Harry Smith? Of course it is. Another superb kick right on the stroke of half-time. And what a performance from this young England side in the opening half. For 20 minutes, the French were really competitive. But then England cut loose, led by their captain, George Williams. And they've scored some wonderful tries. And they lead at half-time by 36 points to 0.
Thanks very much, Stuart. Well, if that's a glimpse of things to come, the future certainly looks bright for the England Rugby League side. The French trudge off here at half-time at the Halliwell Jones Stadium in damp conditions, and 36-0 down to Shaun Wane's rampant England side. In the company of former England coach Tony Smith and World Cup winner Seb Bishara will pull apart the first 40 minutes of a comprehensive England performance that has seen them score 6 tries, all converted by the wonderful Harry Smith on debut. Half-time in Game 2 of our special international doubleheader here on Sky Sports. And Shaun Wane's England men's side have a commanding 36-0 half-time lead over France, who had their moments in that first half but have not been able to trouble the scoreboard. Let's have a look at the stats. Equally dominant, particularly when you look at tackles missed by the French side. 14 and none. A flawless defensive performance from England in that first half. And at times they did have plenty thrown at them. Meters made, double that of the effort from the French players. Former England coach Tony Smith and England's World Cup winning wheelchair hero Seb Bishara is our studio guest here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Tony, we're going to start with you. Your overall thoughts. If you were a coach, you were Shaun Wane at half-time, you'd be pretty pleased, I'm guessing?
Oh, yes. Very, very pleased. No missed tackles. Wow. That's super. But they've just handled things really well. Really well. They've soaked up a little bit of pressure early on. They've handled the conditions. They've kicked really well, as they say in the talking about in the commentary. Right sort of conditions to put kicks into the corner. It's hard to deal with. It's slippy. They've just tactically played really well. The good thing is they've thrown some long balls at times and handled and not put each other under pressure at the same time. And a couple of offloads in the tackles to get out of their own end. So
it's been a great mix.
It's been a really controlled mix. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's look at the scores. It started with an Ash Handley try from the kicking game that Tony's referenced there. A wonderful George Williams touch off the boot.
Oh, you mentioned the name George Williams. I think today he has shown such a quality performance. Not only him, but George and Welsby today. I mean, I was really looking forward to watching them work together as two world-class players, and they proved it during the World Cup. They really proved it today as well. They're just amazing in everything they do, and you know, performance they're putting out now today is just incredible.
We'll see this is lovely play, Tony. And Jake Wardle, great centre play in the end.
Oh, excellent. But you know, in the great positional play by a young halfback back on the inside of, you know, when the break's made. It's just, you know, they're doing all the little things well, but you know, it looks not spectacular, but it just looks workmanlike and class.
Harry Smith tried that he converted. 12-0 lead to England. That was extended when his Wigan teammate Ethan Havard went over. This would be a little bit worrying from a French point of view, this defence.
Yeah, I'm going to... England have been terrific in the 20, in their opposition's 20. They've executed really well. This was one of those times where it looks like the French team come from 3 different competitions, and they do. You know, that's the difference. England look like they're all Super League, and they're all Super League players. There's a difference here today. Hey, it's still good for the French. They're going to have to deal with that at some stage. But super pass. Super pass. That's just class, isn't it?
How good is he, Tony? Jack Wellsby?
He would have made you look good, Brian. That's how good he is.
But not you.
He would have had
He's
to
not
make your
capable of
tackles
that.
for you. But no, listen, he's terrific. He just knows what to do in which situation and what player to hit. Hey, there's another one. The 2 of them, they're like conductors here today in a symphony.
Okay, let's pick up on a point that you made about the kicking game. Both of you have been referencing here in studio this rain that's coming down here, and the efforts of George Williams and Harry Smith in kicking and pinning the French down here and forcing repeat sets, scoring tries has been perhaps the most tactically impressive part.
Yeah, can I just mention, you know, I'm unfamiliar with wet conditions like this. It doesn't happen in a wheelchair pitch, does it? But, you know, honestly, something that's missing from the official stats of the game is those high-end finishes, doing those kicks, getting it as close as possible to the try line, and forcing dropouts and stuff like that to get the ball back close to the line, and that eventually capitalising on that and scoring tries off of it. So, yeah, it's really important what they're doing. They're keeping that ball. That's how they're keeping that possession of the ball and just dominating the French by, you know, finishing those sets really, really well.
Absolutely, and it's the right tactics for this time of the year. If you look back at grand finals, back end of the year, those are the tactics as well. Ball on the ground, round the try line. You can slide over the dead ball line sometimes when you dive on the ball near the try line. You know, it's just smart play for the conditions and time of the year.
You made a point about the manner in which they played that first half. It hasn't been within themselves. So it's not like Sean Wayne and the change rooms were here. Listen, let's be a bit more expansive. We're not going to lose this game. They have been, at appropriate times, been expansive.
They've been smart. They've been smart. They've backed their skill. They've got great skill, and there's, you know, they're not without error. They've had the odd error, but not many. You know, they're making good decisions. That's what you hope at international level. That's why it's good for them to have this exposure. Don't care who they're playing. They've got to make good decisions. They could easily have poor skill and poor decision-making, but they're not today. It's great practice for when they're under pressure.
What then is the hope for France in the second half here? Because there's always a lesson to be learned, whether you're in front or behind at half-time. What can Laurent Fraser-New elicit from his side?
I think they really need to be a bit more connected in D. You know, at times they were rushing out a bit too much and jumping out too early and just slightly overexcited and trying to make that hero tackle. That doesn't work. You really need to be connected in D at all times. So maybe that, and then I think in the first 20 minutes they were really efficient with their finishing sets. They got that 40-20 earlier on. And I think they need to focus on just finishing those sets really well again and getting that ball back and trying to, you know, start game management. Just try and keep that ball a bit more.
It's tough when you're 36-0 down, but maybe they have to patiently try and build their way back into this game. There's still 40 minutes of international action, and it may be the last bit of international action for France for a while. They're going to have to make the most of it. We'll have the second half from the Halliwell Jones Stadium on the way after this, with England leading 36-0 at the break.
Smithies and Williams with a little kick towards the corner and a chance for a try from Ash Hamley, and that is the perfect start. Wardle with the dummy, great play from Wardle, brilliant play from Wardle, and the try on debut for Harry Smith. They're queuing up, Boonery, the captain, George Williams. Sensational England try. That was out of the top drawer.
Yeah, the newly appointed captain George Williams has had his say in this first 40 minutes and inspired England to a 36-0 lead. What would you say to your side if you're 36-0 down at half-time? Seb, actually, Tony, we might go to you with that one.
I don't know who writes your material there, Brian, but you won't be welcome back over to Hull real soon.
Look, there's a great opportunity now for England here, isn't there, to really go on and force home the issue here.
Oh, yeah. They need to, and they'll have that desire. You know, Sean sets really high standards for them. They set high standards for themselves, and they'll be in there talking about handling the conditions, handling the opposition, not getting relaxed and not, taking the foot off the pedal here. That's what they need to practice. This is practice for World Cup games of the future.
What can France throw at them in return? Morgan Smithies amongst those starring for the first time in an England shirt. Justin Sangare and the French await, as do our commentary team. Let's get back to John Wilkin, Phil Clark and Stuart Pike.
Thank you, Brian. Well, we mentioned one word we mentioned in that first half, and I think this applies to England in the second. Ruthless. Got to be ruthless. Don't take your foot off the pedal. Crack on, score as many as you possibly can.
Yeah, a sign of maturity. You know, the first half was a very mature performance, but a sign of maturity is sticking with that and actually having the discipline to stick with something that's working. So if England want to kick on in this game, they've got to have the discipline to understand what they did worked perfectly. Let's not get away from that.
OK, so the second half underway. 6 tries already from England. Let's go pitch side and join Jamie Jones-Buchanan. JJB.
Thanks, Stu. Just to add to the French woes, the Featherstone back rower Matthew Cossersfield is HIA. He won't be returning for the second half, so the French might have to be conservative with some of their substitute rotations, in contrast to England, who used 4 subs inside of 35 minutes. Obviously, Shaun Wane came to give as much game time to his players as possible.
Thank Jamie. Well, that's a blow for the French, a blow for Featherstone Rovers as well, because he will miss their next game. Sean Long, of course, looking on, the French assistant coach. But a decent first set from England at the start of this second half.
Yes, without this sounding dull, it's a fantastic kick and a great chase again. So we talk about maturity and producing a mature performance in the second half. Well, a great start, a great kick there from Jez Litton. And look what France having to come out of. You know, they need to score points, but it's so difficult to score points in a game when you're in this part of the field.
Lagarde and Litton with the tackle. Yeah, it's tough. It's getting harder, isn't it, for the French? As Laurent Fresneau said right at the start of the programme, it's all about building towards that World Cup. And a slip there from César Rouget, who's been one of their better players today. And England with a chance to build. Ash Hanley, no doubt, looking for a hat-trick for his country in this second half.
It is very hard. I guess you want your best players to play with an ignorance of the scoreboard. Doesn't matter what that says. You want to still do what you intended to do as a team here now. They're all back on side, the England side. I want to push up here now in support of Toby King, who's had some brilliant offloads, hasn't he? There again, although maybe that one went forward.
Well, it went backwards according to the referee, Liam Moore. I think England may well have got away with one on halfway there. Here is Tyler Dupree, told he wasn't good enough by his boyhood club Leeds. 18 months ago, relegated with Oldham, playing in League One, now playing for his country and making the headlines at Salford. Some great stories. And that looked like a late hit on Welsby. It was. Penalty to England. And Liam Moore, with no doubts, it was slightly late, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, they were just aggressive. Again, Romano switched to centre, comes out, and in his attempts to just steal time from Jack Welsby, shooting out the line and hitting him off the ball. It's maybe a good tactic if the ball gets to him. It didn't get there, so penalty England.
So 36-0, England in front, and we're joined now by the England assistant coach and the new Castleford coach, Andy Lass. So far, he must be very impressed with what this young side has produced.
Yeah, really happy with what they've done in the first 40 minutes, but there's definite areas that we need to improve. Sean spoke at half-time about needing a little bit more intensity in our D. We want a little bit more inside pressure, and we want to just tidy up 1 or 2 of the kicks that we've selected and nail our execution on our kicks. But overall, yeah, really happy with the first 40.
With ball in hand, it's been terrific.
Yeah, really, really good. We've got a very well-balanced team, young, enthusiastic, and very, very skillful. And I think the speed that we've played at has really caused France some problems. And Ash Hanley, I think, has been excellent on that right edge, along with Matty Aston on that left edge. So, you know, we need to continue it, and that's a challenge for us. It's 80 minutes Test match football, and we're looking to put an 80-minute performance in.
Absolutely, be ruthless. Be ruthless in the second half. Don't take your foot off the pedal.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. Unfortunately, you know, we didn't play for the full 80 minutes in a World Cup semi-final, so we're learning how to make sure that you play for 80 minutes in Test match football. So that's something which we've spoken about in great detail at half-time.
Andy, thank you.
No problem, thank you.
I just get a feeling that he mentioned it there. The heartache, it all goes back to that Golden Point defeat at the Emirates Stadium some 169 days ago, and England and Shaun Wane will be judged solely on World Cup success or not when it comes round in a couple of years' time in France.
Yeah, I think the inevitability of sport is you have to go through a process of failing. Like, there's nobody gets to the top of any sport and hasn't failed along the way. In some ways, the failures are where your learnings are, and the most brutal learning that you do is the failures on the biggest stage. A lot of these players will have learned. Jack Welsby had a poor last 20 minutes in that World Cup semi-final. He would have learned an immeasurable amount from that period in his career. That loss and that failure is where the learning's at, Stuart, and that's what these players will need to understand the longer they get into the career.
5 minutes gone in the second half. 36 points to nil it is. Here is Smithies and is Wigan calling Smith. Lovely hands again. Aston with a chance to run at the defence. Does well, kept inside. Still going, Matty Aston. Been prolific this season. 7 tries in 10 games for Warrington.
Good tackle.
Brilliant from Zenon. He ran it superbly. What a tackle from the young French fullback on Harry Smith.
He's got far more potential than what he showed in the first 40 minutes. He was invisible really in attack, did very little, or was out of place often in defence. He must have, somebody's had a chat to him at half-time and said, show us what you can do.
It's absolutely minced Harry Smith.
He felt that. We felt it. A shudder up here, I think.
The weird thing is, sometimes when you get hit that cleanly, it doesn't hurt. Do you know, it's such a clean contact. Harry Smith just got his head rocked a little bit and he's fine. But that aggression's been there from France from the outset, hasn't it? They've not always got it right, let me tell you. That's beautifully timed.
What a hit. 36-0. England with ball in hand were sumptuous. They really were at times in that first half. They had the intensity in defence. I think one thing Shaun Wane will have said is that do not let them score a point in this international.
I don't think they had intensity in the defence. I don't think they didn't. No. Yeah, Andy Last, yeah, he's right. If there's one area that England can improve, it's a real surge from their middle unit, their defenders in the middle of the field, and put France under more pressure. But they've been that good with the ball, it hasn't mattered.
33 years since they beat England or Great Britain. That isn't going to change today. But the disappointment for France is that the last 2 World Cups they haven't even managed to get out of the group and reach the quarter-finals. And England get another penalty here.
There might be some positives for France. If you look at the Catalan Dragons this season under Steve McNamara, for the first time in a long time, if ever really, we're starting to see more young French players given an opportunity, whether that's because their older overseas players are injured or whether it's a conscious decision by Steve McNamara. Either way, shall we say, the French players are getting more exposure at a higher competition than they have previously.
Well, it is the latter. He's absolutely determined to develop more French talent and give them the opportunity in the Catalans' first team.
Can we just pay homage as well to what the Catalan Dragons bring to our competition? They produce an overwhelming number of the players that we're seeing, the young players in the French side here. They provide
Catalan against Saints.
An incredible opportunity for our fans to go to a beautiful part of the world in the south of France. They've had success, they've got dynamism, they're well attended. What a success Catalan Dragons has been, and we should celebrate that.
They've won a Challenge Cup, they've reached the grand final, they're live on Sky Sports next Friday. Catalan against Saints from the south of France. Williams, oh, what a lovely sidestep. Good tackle coming in. Jouffret it was. Here's Welsby with a short pass. Nicholson with the offload. Scurrying back is the St Helens fullback. The kick and chase. Jouffret does well, and there is Rouget to mop it up for the French. Just about stays in the field of play. Still it's 36-0, approaching 10 minutes gone in this second half.
It was some touch that from Rouget. The ball was fired at him from Jack Welsby. Chases on coming. Exceptional soft touch.
Goal 2 surrendered. 3.
I'm sure the difficulty for Laurent Fresinier and Sean Long and Remy Castro during half-time was to keep the heads up, to keep encouraging them.
Yeah, I think the only thing you can say at half-time is let's try and win the second half. When a situation, the scoreboard's like that, that's got to be the goal. It gives them something to aim for. But longer term, they've got to find a way of getting the best players to play for them at international level. He's mentioned Theo Fage hasn't played since 2018. Today, you'd like to have Navarrete, Busquets, Seguier, Garcia, 4 fantastic forwards who would have made this a much better contest. Are either injured or aren't available or aren't playing on show here for the French side. They've got to get their best French players available and wanting to play for the national scene.
But they are developing more. That's what we were talking about before, about what Steve McNamara is doing. And
yeah, they've been put away by England. England have put them away, so the young French players look vastly less experienced and able at this level.
That's the point Tony Smith made during the half
exactly
time.
right.
Yeah.
There's 3 levels of competition in the French team. We're looking at Super League, some of the best young players. Harry Smith, who tips that ball on, been in exceptional form for Wigan. Look at George Williams is probably the standout player in Super League. Jack Welsby's been the standout player, a star of our competition. This man, Morgan Smithies, in impeccable form for his club who are at the top of Super League. So although it's like the contrast of the young players in each side, but their experience levels are so different.
Smithies has been really good. Great pass again from Welsby. Here's Hanley down that far side, but that is the last. It'll be the turnover. Yeah, but Morgan Smithies, he does a lot of good work, but goes unnoticed quite a lot of the time. He's not a spectacular player, but he works hard. And
he goes unnoticed by people like you, Stuart. There's a lot of people who notice him. Well, no, what I'm saying is, if you're in a changing room with a guy like him, you love him.
Be an interesting debate, John, whether him or Morgan Knowles would get picked if they were both available for a match. It was the England World Cup final.
Yeah, who would you pick?
I'd pick Morgan Knowles.
They're both great players.
In 2023, I don't know about 2025, things might be different then. It's only 2 years' time. Yeah, absolutely. Morgan Smithies might have improved and be better, but
that is the point. It's another mistake from France.
Mistake by Jouffret. So England will get the ball back. He just does a lot of good stuff unnoticed. That's what I'm saying about Smithies.
I think, again, it's unnoticed to the untrained eye, but to people who know what they're looking at, the efforts that people like Morgan Smithies put in are invaluable, and you can build your team around effort and intent. Massive knock-on, and it gifts an opportunity to England to just take a chance in this second half.
10 metres, boys, don't worry. Heads in then, Jez. Heads down, shot clock off. Out!
Welsby now, lovely pass. Hanley got support inside, and George Williams will get his try, his second try. England 7th, the first of the second half. And again, they make it look very, very easy down that short side. The handling has been exceptional. And another try. And England hit the 40-point mark.
It's an invitation from France. You just felt like they kept gifting opportunities to England, kept turning over possession, and you felt like England would take advantage of it. And it's that man again, George Williams, who's clinical in the first half. That's a clinical start to the second half, supporting his own play. But I love this subtlety of pass to Jack Welsby, and the combination of Welsby and Williams. If you're not excited by watching that, then you're watching the wrong sport.
Well, Welsby was seeing me here at fullback. All of the leading experts I spoke to in Australia couldn't believe in the World Cup that with the team available, England didn't have Welsby at fullback and Tompkins in the half because of his speed. John, they were amazed. All the leading coaches I spoke to that wasn't made as a selection decision. We see him now playing at fullback.
Yeah, no, he's lethal. His speed is lethal. I think his combination with Williams has looked incredible here this afternoon. I think Sam Tompkins maybe did take on more of a half-back style role within the team, so the shirt and the numbers that they wore might have been subtly different, but Yeah, Jack Welsby's dynamite at full-back, Phil.
Well, Welsby, the reason he didn't play full-back originally was Lachlan Coote. And then injuries. Lewis Dodd was injured. He had to move into the halves, but there's no doubt full-back's his best place. Well, a rare sight and miss from Harry Smith, his first of the afternoon, at 40 points to 0. And George Williams is just loving this afternoon.
Classic try from a scrum. Everyone loves one.
Yeah, there's a lot of space. It's a great opportunity to attack. The width of the pass is nice. Williams is square. Welsby catches it clean. Hanley then has the presence of mind to tip inside to Williams. The support play from Williams and Smith has been a feature, and especially in wet weather, it's not always too expansive. Tony Smith's right. I think England have played when they've needed to, but also, you know, just tight support lines. Short passes are always great when the weather's wet, and England have executed there. 14 minutes into the second half, they were away.
Yeah, they've been very good. James Harrison, who talked about a road to the top, told he wasn't good enough by Bradford. What a journey he went on, battling dual reg with Oxford. John Keir had faith in him, and Darryl Powell had a lot of faith in him, and Darryl Powell deserved a lot of credit for turning that young man into an international forward. Williams again. On the charge is Tyler Dupree, just inside the French half. Litton and Smith. Oh, Welsby did well. He was under pressure there for sure by Romano, who switched into the centres, but Welsby with another fantastic pass. Hanley kept inside. He'd love a third. Ash Hanley, nowhere to go. Tackle coming in from Julian and Hugo Chisson. Jez Litton. Smith again with a tantalising teaser towards the corner. Well, offside. Got to be offside, I would imagine. Intentional, unintentionally by Artem Morg, but there's not a lot he could do. The ball was knocked on by his teammate straight to him.
Well, it's a good chase from England again. It's an accurate kick, and then just accidentally offside by Artem Morg. But it's about the accuracy of the kicks once again, giving you chase an ability to get under the ball, and then really forcing the French into errors as Tyler Dupree comes up with a mistake here. So an exchange of errors here for both sides. Certainly England won't want to get drawn into that side of things.
Human nature suggests that it must be so difficult to keep up the intensity when you're 40 points up.
You're playing for your country. Like, these guys are making their debuts. There's many of them. This is the first chance. For some people here, this might be their last chance.
Too quick, boys, in the middle.
Offside, yeah.
Well, he stopped him, tapped it quickly then.
Too quick in the
We
middle.
want to speed the game up at times and slow it down in others. We've got to have some consistency with what we want to do with the sport.
First penalty for the French. Litton offside.
Don't you?
Yeah, you know, you're right. Just let the game flow there. Let them take it quick. It's a cynical offside from England. The penalty is a punishment. Look, Rougier kicks the ball 35 metres downfield, but a quick tap could have led to something incredibly interesting.
And there's some variety and excitement. You know, I think we need more variety.
Goudemont for the French. Can they get some reward for their efforts with a try here in Cham on debut? Hasn't played many minutes this season, has he, for the Catalan Dragons, but the big stint today on debut for Jackie Chan and Artem Morg.
Great pressure from Jez Litton.
Yeah, nowhere to go.
He's been busy, Jez Litton, and that's what Sean Wayne and Andy Lass will be talking about. Surge from your middle defenders. Real pressure from your markers and your defenders tight to the ruck. Surge outwards, apply some pressure on the French halfbacks, and great work there from Jez Litton.
Just about getting up, delicately playing the ball. Romano going to get pushed into touch, does well with the offload. Back it goes to Samisoni Langhi now. Langhi, plenty of experience. Last one then, 10 yards from the England line, coming up towards the hour mark. Can France get some points on the board? Welsby again read it really well in the absolute perfect spot the kick there from Cesar Rouget.
Yeah, well, there's two ways a fullback can get praise. One is with what he does with the ball, how good he is in attacking situations. The second is positionally there. Just exceptional positioning from Jack Welsby. Read the player was coming to that left-hand side. Fantastic pick-up from him.
Toby King. It's a good point you make, the fact that some of these England players may not get an opportunity. Come the end of season, the autumn internationals, of course, against Tonga, which have been announced this week. There's probably, I would say, at least a dozen players to come back into the squad, the ones that withdrawn, the ones coming over from the NRL. So this is an opportunity for some which they may not get again.
You may not get. How many chances do you get? You know, sometimes you get a handful, sometimes you
Litton
don't.
does really well. Brilliant from Jez Litton. Litton hasn't got the legs. Terrific tackle by Hugh Frey. That was so nearly a fantastic debut try for Jez Litton, but read the situation so well. Saw the gap. Harrison now. Havard just shy of the try line. England looking for more. Williams with a chip towards the corner, and Handley! Ash Handley, what a time and what a situation for Ash Handley. If that is a hat-trick try, it's been brilliantly executed by Williams and by Handley. The video referee, Mike Smale, will be called into action for the first time this afternoon.
Tackle 4, live decision of try. Can we just start with a kick? All onside. Play through. Just give us the other angle when he puts down. Thank you, I obey my decision.
Brilliantly executed by Ash Handley of Leeds. And he has a hat-trick, the 8th of his career. He scored 7 for Leeds. And now Ash Handley has a hat-trick for England. The reading of the situation from Williams, but Ash Handley, terrific score.
Yeah, it was great. Ash Handley's been incredible, but you want to make an impact when you make your international debut, and hasn't Jez Litton made an impact? Fantastic break from him, some really quality defensive efforts, and that gave him the opportunity to go and put this play on, Phil.
It's a hole-in-one kick, isn't it? Perfect, and the skill by Ash Handley to catch and ground inside the field of play. Absolutely brilliant. That is top quality there. Great catch, gathers it and stays just inside the white line.
He does so well to keep his right foot in the field of play there. That could easily slip away from him. To catch the ball overhead, have the spatial awareness to know where the sideline is. Look, it demands an accurate kick from George Williams, and that's exactly what it was.
Wonderful wing play. Wonderful wing play.
He's a finisher, isn't he? But not just that, he's a workhorse. Look, 141 metres. So, look, he scores tries, but then he's good at getting you out of backfield as well. And he's been doing that for Leeds in a really challenging environment. Leeds haven't been great over the last few years, but he's been standout.
Smith from the touchline. That's a beauty. As soon as the boot connected with the ball, he looked away, threw the tee away, and over it goes, 46-0. But look at this skill from Handley.
It's a Handley hat-trick, isn't it, Stuart? And just look at Williams on his fingerprints are on every try that Handley scores. He still requires some finishing, and he saved his best till last. Subtle kick, splendid finish. That's magic from Handley. Williams very much involved in it all.
Stay behind, boys.
19 minutes to go in the international here at the Halliwell Jones in Warrington. England women 64-0 winners over the French earlier. A short kick-off. Well read by Smith, passing it back and picked up by Wardle.
Hold the 10.
Give you a reminder, by the way, both big games in Super League on Sky Sports in the coming week. On Thursday, it's the black and white Tony Smith Hull FC taking on Wigan, and on Friday we're live from Perpignan as the Catalan Dragons take on St Helens. Penalty to England. 18 minutes to go, leading 46-0, and it has been very comfortable after that first 20 minutes.
You'd expect, I think it's holding or obstruction there from the French defender. Yeah, I think the first 20 minutes was good for England. It tuned them in, it made them sharp, and it made them realise that they're in with a bit of a competition, and that made them sharpen the tools in terms of playing the conditions, kicking well, pinning France back and getting into a grind. And that's what they did in that first half so well.
Hazard once more. Just look at the... brilliant from Williams. It's going to be another try. And it's going to be a Kai Pearce-Paul try under the sticks. And everything that George Williams has touched has turned to gold on his first appearance as an England captain. The former Wigan man, the current Warrington star, the current Man of Steel leader. Well, he's done it again. Williams, the maker. Kai Pearce-Paul, the scorer.
Well, if the England team are to be successful, they need a great leader, and in George Williams at present, they've got the best, haven't they? Look at that, dummies between two players, and then provides a pass to Kai Pearce-Paul, who, you know what, there's some exciting players in the Super League competition, but I don't think there are many more exciting than Kai Pearce-Paul. The second half of this season, I'm going to think we're going to see him grow and develop and star in more games for the Wigan Warriors, all possibly because of his exposure, the confidence given to him here now with this England shirt on his back. An England try under the goalposts, and with just over 15 minutes to go, he can enjoy the remainder of this match.
Yeah, fantastic from Williams. Just look, I love it when a halfback threatens to run, and just puts indecision in defensive lines. A really smart piece of play, a subtle piece of play in the background. Harry Smith just looping off that short side. The high behind camera showed it really well. This Harry Smith and the combination with Williams, I think the movement of those two guys has been very impressive.
Well, he won't miss this from right in front. England extend their lead to 52 points to nil. Still 15 minutes or more, and I'm sure he will be full of approval for the half-back display of both Williams and Smith.
Well, we see Smith moving very much like you'd imagine Danny Maguire and Rob Burrow in the past. Smith out the back. Williams uses that as a foil, creates some space, sells a huge dummy. Kai Pearce-Paul with the try. Williams has been impeccable. He's taken his form from the World Cup into the Super League and then into this mid-season international. Where difficult being named as captain to maybe try and do anything different to what you've been doing at your club, or try and change what you're doing. Well, he's not changed a thing.
20 points on debut now for Harry Smith. Here's an interesting one. If Jordan Abdul had been fit, who do you think Sean Wayne would have picked at 7?
He could have picked either, and it'd have been an incredible decision. I think Harry Smith has taken his chance, hasn't he?
Handsome.
Yeah, he's taken his chance, and the axis of the England team has looked smooth and fluent when you wouldn't expect it to. No time together.
Oh, good hands again. Hamley's away. Now then, he's got support if he needs it. They're queuing up once more. And George Williams. Williams, a hat-trick. His first game as England captain. He has been outstanding from minute one. And now he has a hat-trick. Another sensational England try. And what a performance this has been from George Williams. He has led the way. He's played a captain's knock, and he has an England hat-trick.
Yeah, just an unbelievable performance from him. Very rarely do you play a full game and everything that you do seems to work, come off, or lead to something. Well, George Williams is the architect of what happens on the inside of this break from Hanley. And then the thing that stands George Williams apart is his pure speed as well. When he's in the ability to support and use his speed just to get on the end of this is remarkable, but how fluent they've looked with such little time has been so impressive.
Those are my favourite type of tries, Stuart. A team attack in their own half of the field, move the ball at pace, and then have the skills then to back them on the inside. It's absolutely perfect. The last 50 years I've been watching rugby tries, those are the best ones for me, and George Williams will be delighted as he slides in again there for his third.
Yeah, top performance. His kicking game's been incredible, as is this man's Harry Smith. Popped that over, no doubt. The kicking game of Williams has been great. His passing game has been exceptional. His running game has been clinical. Look, his support play is fantastic. He's always there supporting breaks, and every time there's a break near him, and it's been Ash Handley 3 times, has found him back on the inside. George Williams has been there.
Do you think he'll be on the shortlist of player of the match?
I'd be very surprised, Philip, if he's not.
Stay behind, boys.
What a performance from Williams. A 3rd career hat-trick, scored 2 for Wigan. And I'm sure this one will mean the most. Taking over from Sam Tompkins as captain of your country and score a hat-trick. It doesn't get much better, does it?
He would have just wanted his team to play well. And the fact that he's individually played well, I'm sure is a bonus for him. But he's not doing anything different to what he's been doing at Warrington all year. He's a leader for them. He's a threat, a constant thorn in the side of defences that he plays against. High involvement rate. Has the discipline to just take a carry like that when he needs to. He's an exciting, electric player who lights up Super League every week, and it's great to see him do it here for his country.
Danny Walker back on, so Welsby there was at dummy half. England still have 12 minutes or so to add to their tally of 58 points. Williams with a diagonal kick towards the corner. Ashton's quick, he's very quick, tags it on. Well, he was unlucky there. Just too much on it. His football skills not as good as his rugby skills, but look at the pace.
Big intervention from Jouffret, potentially.
I don't think so, Johnny. He can't get out of the way, can he?
No.
He doesn't change his path. He can't stop instantly on the spot.
No, it's a nice kick, a good chase. Just needed a bit more delicate touch as Matty Ashton's running at 35 kilometres an hour or whatever it is. It's easy to say.
11 minutes to go. Yeah, but as Phil was saying, some of the tries have been absolutely
in tough conditions.
Terrific, haven't they?
In tough conditions they've executed and not shied away from skill. So it's easy to play a one-dimensional kick, chase well, play it, keep it tight, just grind France down. Well, that's really not what England have done here. Big kick.
Well, Welsby watches it and does the right thing and makes the right decision.
Yeah, high rugby IQ, Jack Welsby. You know, we're talking about him being a fullback. Is he the future of rugby? This man could play in any position on the field and do it well. He played loose forward for St Helens. He's played centre, wing. You know, that's the future of what rugby looks like.
Is fullback his best place, Phil?
I think so. Again, it was the leading coaches in the NRL were amazed, as I say, back in that World Cup, that he didn't play in the fullback position, but that's all now in the past.
Well, the last time France were on this ground, they conceded 62 points as they made a painful exit to the World Cup.
Great offload from Kai Pearce.
It was, and at 58-0, you wouldn't bet against England scoring more than those 62. Welsby's pass again, kick forward from King, but now it's picked up by Laguerre. Chance maybe for the French to break, but there's the intensity in defence that Sean Wayne was asking for. Jack Welsby across. There was no way Laguerre was going to get past.
It's crisp skill from Jack Welsby. It looked like he'd released King. King's kick got charged down. But then just look at the appetite for people to come and stop France from scoring points. That'll delight Sean Wayne. I think Wigan teams of the past and teams that Sean Wayne's been involved in have had a dogged attitude to defence, have been ferocious with the way they've defended and built on attitude and commitment. And certainly he'll be pleased with Jez Litton and Jack Welsby for showing that commitment to the cause there.
Heads in, Louis.
You may see a little smile back on the face of Sean Wayne at the end of this game. Walker, straight from the scrum. All the debutants have performed, haven't they? At a high level.
Yeah, fantastic.
Williams, the captain.
Back up now.
They'll want more, without a shadow of a doubt. First charge was from Holroyd, next one was from Havard. The two props have put in a lot of work. Litton nearly through. I agree with John Wilkin. He's been a little live wire since coming on, been involved in so much of what England have done well. Williams kick again over the top, and Marcon takes no chances. It'll be another goal line dropout for the French with 8 minutes to go, and England leading 58-0.
many aspects of England's play has been very impressive, but perhaps the short attacking kicking game, or kicks to put pressure on the opponents, is possibly the most impressive.
Yeah, it's just starved France of any position, any possession. The accuracy of the kicking is what pleased Shaun Wane and pleased George Williams and Harry Smith, the guys who are in charge of that department. It's been flawless, almost flawless, and it's just crushed the hopes of the French.
Wardle tries to cut inside. Romano eventually makes the tackle. England threatening once more. Williams and Welsby. Litton with the pass out. Teenager Nicholson. The Warrington man has been really solid again on debut, and here is Ethan Havard, 10 yards away from the try line. 2 tackles left in this set. Holroyd slipped though as he was going through, ran into Chiaki Chan on the last. Walker digs the kick through, and it was taken well by Romano, but the pressure was there once again from England, and another goal line dropout. That's 5 goal line dropouts for the French today.
Yeah, defending saps your energy. Repeat sets or getting the ball back from being diffused in the in goal like that means you have to defend again. It saps your energy, and it's a vicious cycle. So the better England's kicking game has been, the more defending France have had to do, and the more it's exposed that lack of connection. Seb Bashara mentioned in the studio about connection in defence that's been absent. Well, a lot of that's been through the fatigue that England have forced upon them.
That was a mistake. That was a mistake from George Williams. I can't believe I'm saying that. He's been perfect today, but finally a short dropout pays off for the French. They've got some 5.5 minutes to try and get some points on the board in this international training. 58-0.
It was a tough kick to take for Williams. He's moving at speed as well. But Shaun Wane will be looking for evidence that his side have got an appetite to defend. Litton flying off the line, great signs.
Do you remember when he was first coming on the scene? If my memory's right, Lee Radford's son was his favourite fan and always wanted Lee Radford to pick him when he was in the Hull second team and pushing through. Well, it's taken a while, but he's finally got to the top draw.
Sangare with the error. There's been too many errors from the French today.
Just basic unforced error. He fumbled it initially when it came to him, couldn't take it in. And that gift, not only have you just had to defend a couple of sets because of good kicks and pressure being built, then to come up with that error, it's just crucial.
Here is Williams. Yeah, the two props, Holroyd and Havard, have really done a lot of work today. Litton, well taken by Welsby. Sweeping pass from Jack Welsby, and well, there's a collector's item again, but I think there may have been a French hand. It wasn't an error from Welsby. I apologise to Jack. It came off a French hand, and England will get the ball back.
Play the ball in the middle.
Yes, just
Tanguy Zenon, doesn't he? Just gets his fingertips to it. Might not worked out exactly where to be to defend, but he's stopping the ball, isn't he? Which is part one, isn't it?
Well, there's just, you have to be desperate in those situations. They're short, they're in all sorts of trouble. Your wingers have to come up with something. Sometimes the best you can do is just stop the ball getting to where it's going. That's what he did there.
Pace Paul. Walker again, making his own path towards the line. Sisson with the original tackle. Sangare in there along with Marion. Litton come to the short side. Welsby, what a pass from Welsby! But it's a mistake from Welsby.
Yeah, it was a poor pass from him, really.
It looked, didn't it? Looping pass.
Yeah, through the touch, Judge.
Yeah.
I just think that's the first time really Jack Welsby's forced it, and it's 76 minutes into a game. Look, he plays. What I love about him is he could make that mistake and he'll throw that pass another 5 times and not think twice about it. That's confidence. That's confidence that you can't coach or manufacture. It's in it. It's built into him to just keep going back to the well and keep trying things.
With 3 minutes to go, England is going to be a convincing win. High tackle, penalty to the French. Sangare not very pleased with that. Just Kai Pearce-Paul. 3 minutes to go, 58 points on the board. With what you've seen from England today, What's your main impressions? What's impressed you the most?
Just how well the axis of their team has played together. Harry Smith complementing Williams very well by doing a tidy job. Wellsby combining with Williams well. And in attack, I think they've looked really fluent. I don't think they've been tested defensively by France at all. I don't think they can take an awful lot from this game defensively, because they've just not been stretched or teased or tempted to make some bad decisions. But they'll be pleased with how they've attacked, and certainly with how they've kicked the ball. It's been a masterclass.
Yeah, short pass to Laguerre. There he is, Sean Wayne. Big win for England, and it had to be, I think, after the disappointment of that semi-final. What's impressed you, Phil, the most?
The long-range tries. I think you want to go to games and want to be entertained, and some of the tries have been top draw.
Gounomont, who never stops, has done really well. Little kick over the top by Tisson, and Wellsby's there to take it. It'll be a goal line dropout, but they gave it a go there. Hugo Tisson, but Wellsby positioned himself superbly once more.
Yeah, did his best to get his feet down in the end goal, didn't he, to defuse it, and that would have been a reversal of the decision.
Young hooker, just starting out in his career. It's the launch pad for him, but maybe one for the World Cup there. Hugo Tisson is competing, isn't he? He's got an ignorance of the scoreboard. It doesn't matter what it says. He's trying his hardest.
Hat-trick for Ash Hanley. A hat-trick for the captain, George Williams. 36-0 at half-time, and they've added a further 4 tries in the second half. And they've done what they had to do. They've come out, they've played well, they've kept a clean sheet, and on attack they've been very, very good. Well, it was a smile from Sean Wayne.
A smile for a selfie.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's got to be happy, because they've done what they needed to do. They've done what they had to do.
He'll be delighted, right? He's going to say that he's delighted with how well they've played, his execution at times, the tries that they've scored. But I do think he'll demand his team to bring more than this, to be better than this, to be more intense than this defensively.
Well, of course, next in the autumn, England will face that history-making 3-match test series against Tonga. Williams, no look inside pass for Wellsby. Wellsby goes inside for Walker. What a way to finish it. Well, George Williams has been out of this world, and that was out of this world. Fabulous try to finish it off in some style for England. Danny Walker, another debutant, gets another England try. But that one was a belter.
Yeah, Williams and Wellsby. What a combination those two have been. It's Danny Walker who scores the try on debut. What a moment for him. But just look at this subtle play from Williams. Draws the air defender out, Samisoni Langi. And Wellsby just trails back up the inside. And as I said, I think Sean Wayne will be delighted with the combinations that are forming here. Williams and Wellsby together are just electric.
Somebody asked me the other day who I'd pick as my dream team hooker after 10 rounds, and it's a very difficult decision because there's a lot of good hookers playing. But I think Danny Walker will certainly be in the top 3 candidates as the best hooker so far in Super League.
And the captain will finish it off by kicking the final conversion. What an afternoon for George Williams. What an afternoon for England. 64 points to nil. A hat-trick for Williams, a hat-trick for Ash Hanley, and a happy England coach, Sean Wayne. The England women beat France 64 points to nil, and the England men have repeated the dose in some style. Difficult watch for Laurent Fresinier. He knows, though, that this is only the beginning as the countdown continues to the next World Cup in France 2025. But England were very, very good, inspired by that man, the captain George Williams, and they've beaten France by 64 points to nil.